of New Jersey Peace Action, and I am... Oh, thank you. I am proud to welcome you on behalf of our board to our 60th annual dinner. 60. Oh my goodness. I know. Very exciting. How many people do we have here who have never been to a peace action event before? Oh, wow. Super. Thank you all for coming, and we hope to see you again. Please join us again and again and again. We are extremely proud to have with us today Chris Hedges, to whom we will award the Dorothy Eldridge Peacemaker Award, and we're excited to hear him speak to us about resisting American fascism. It is also wonderful to be honoring First Friends of New Jersey and New York with the Sylvia and Oscar Ackelsberg Award, and E.Betty Levin as the Peace Action Person of the Year. We hope you are enjoying yourself. We hope you had a good dinner, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. But before I finish, and I'm not finishing because then I have to go on and do an introduction, but I've been asked to request that all cell phones be turned off, put on mute. You don't have to turn it off, put it on mute. And to point out that bathrooms are down at the end of the hallway. Before you go to those double doors at the end, make a right. And those are the restrooms. Okay. Now, I am going to continue here as the person who introduces my good friend Betty Levin, and it is an honor to introduce Betty. To say that Betty has devoted her life to peace is hardly an understatement. As a long-standing member of New Jersey Peace Action, she was instrumental in having the Ethical Culture Society of Essex County, to which she belongs and in which she is very active, become one of our first peace sites. One of the ways in which she works for peace is in presenting Imagine Peace workshops in schools from pre-K through high school, making children aware at the appropriate levels of the danger of nuclear weapons and fostering a desire in them to become global citizens. I worked with Betty and NJPA Executive Director Madeline Hoffman recently on a letter to Pope Francis. We told him about the peace site movement in this country and asked him to link peace efforts with the need to protect our planet from climate change and other environmental problems. This was Betty's idea. Last year, at age 90, Betty published her memoir, Becoming Betty, which chronicles her life and tells the story of her involvement in the peace movement. At 91, has Betty slowed down? She still practices psychotherapy, is still active with the Ethical Culture Society, and has not stopped her peace activism. I give you a woman we can all admire, and Peace Action Person of the Year, Betty Levin. You have no idea what great pleasure this gives me. I thank you all for this honor.
Peace is a way of being. How do we find peace in these tumultuous times with an incompetent in the White House? Even as you resist the president's destructive ideas, make an effort to create peace with Trump voters. My greatest fear is if we separate ourselves from other citizens of our precious country, it could deteriorate into a kind of a civil war. I learned from the New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof. Listen to an excerpt from his writings. My hometown, Yamal, Oregon, a farming community, is Trump country, where I have many friends who voted for Trump. I think they're profoundly wrong, but let's not dismiss them as hopeless bigots. The glove factory closed down, the timber business swimmed, and jobs disappeared. Good folks found themselves struggling, sometimes self-medicated with heroin. Too many of my schoolmates died early. Our national trend features a rise in mortality rates for white middle-class Americans, a working-class death of despair. We liberals purport to champion these people, but we don't always understand them. In Yamhill, plenty of well-meaning people were frustrated enough to take a gamble on a silver-tongued provocateur. It wasn't because they were bigoted, unthinking lizard brains, but because they didn't know where to turn, and Trump spoke to their fears. As citizens of our great republic, what can we do? Most of us are usually highly preoccupied, tend to associate only with like-minded people, isolating ourselves and not socializing with so-called others. I believe each of us can find a gracious way to reach out to the people we usually ignore, share a cup of coffee, inquire about their elderly folks and latest happenings of their kids. Do give it a try. Let's rouse ourselves to dissolve the barriers and become united with others in our love of country. We're capable of more than we can imagine. In my work as a therapist, I've seen many remarkable changes happen when we make the effort. The philosopher William James says, act as if what you do makes a difference. It really does. Together we have all witnessed South Africa rejecting apartheid. More recently, the 50-year massacre in Colombia finally ended. Former murderers are finding forgiveness and rehabilitation. They are being accepted as neighbors. I'll pass around newspaper clippings that illustrate these happenings, including the Nobel Peace Prize awarded to President Santos. In conclusion, peace is a way of being, where we all become agents for change. I hope I speak for all of you, quoting our feminist forebears, not for myself alone. Thank you again for this honor.
Thank you, Betty, for being great inspiration for all of us. Good afternoon, my name is Victoria Pinska. Almost 22 years ago, I arrived in this country as a refugee. I arrived with my family, and I was welcomed in this land. I was given an apartment, food,